Hi guys. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I never managed to fall asleep. So I decided to go up and look around a little bit on the internet, just being bored. And I discovered that apparently it was like this coming out day, like the day after my birthday. I usually am pretty like good at keeping up with this stuff. And I did know it was around my birthday, but I never remembered the exact date. I think I remembered it last year, but yes. So congratulations to everybody who came out. I don't really get why we have a special day for it, but I thought I was going to talk a little bit about my experience with coming out and stuff like that, because I have never felt the need to do that because I have a very good relationship with my family. Well, let's take that with a pinch of salt. I may not get along with all of them, and I may not love all of them. Like, I love them all, like deeply. I do. Just not seeing the same side to certain things, maybe. And I know that people are having a rough time with me being me. But yeah. Anyway, I don't really think I have ever actually told anyone like straight out. It's just been something that I don't really feel the need that I need to tell because everybody around me that I think was like, well, they should know, knew. Um, because I have always been it. I guess I'm trying to say, like, certain people think that you have to, have a gay moment, like be with a man if you're a guy to know if you're gay or not. But I is like, well, if you're virgin, you can't know that you're straight anyway. So whatever. I've never felt attracted sexually to a man ever in my entire life. I asked a girl, I remember when I was in second grade, if she wanted to be my girlfriend, like, one of those notes that you did when you were a kid. I just cut my hair at 4 o'clock in the morning on my own. It looks horrendous, but I'm shaving it off soon anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, and I didn't see a problem with it. She did, however. I should add that she definitely did. So she said no, and then she found me really creepy, which was understandable. Um, Also, it has like I've never really seen myself as a female. Neither do I see myself as male. I see myself as an Alex, which is a term I've not used in front of anyone really. I'm not comfortable with being a girl, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I feel like I should be a man. It's really just like I'm trapped in the middle, which I think is probably worse than, you know, feeling like you're trapped in the wrong body, because then at least you know where you want to be. Um, I felt like that forever, I think. I've never really felt home as a woman. Um, which leads to the tough question of putting a label on myself. Because I don't like to do that. Like, I don't like putting labels on myself at all. So when I feel like people ask, well, what are you then? I'm like, yeah, I like girls. I'm like a gay. Yeah, I'm gay. Like, I say that because it's so much easier than to explain like the entire story. I don't see myself to have a particular gender. Um, and I would like to change a few things about me, make them more manly. But a part of me feels like me liking girls is like straight because I have. It's hard to explain. Because certain part of me feels like I am a guy, and then when people ask why do you prefer, say, I like girls, and they're like, oh, you gay. Gay doesn't sound right in my head. Like, I don't see myself as gay. Um, and and then it gets really confusing, and I can't explain it. So I never do. I just say, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't think there's any person I've told that to their face. This is actually the first time I really said it out loud. It's just been thought, really. Um, but I don't really see myself as transgender either. I just really see myself as me, and me is, something trapped in like in between. Anyway, going back to coming out. I came out the first time I ever told anyone that I like girls was a friend in like fifth grade, I think, fifth grade or fourth grade even maybe, but I think it was fifth. And it was a friend named Susan or Suzanne. She and I are still friends. We don't hang out as much anymore, unfortunately, but like a few times we do meet up, we do talk a lot, and she's still like a very important person for me because she was the first person I told. Um, which is weird because I had a friend back then who I was like super close with, like we were like siblings. Um, but I didn't tell him, but I told her, and we were close friends, yeah, but not as close. It's hard to explain. Um, and then my male friend I just mentioned, he came out to me as transgender. Um, like I don't remember when it was like eighth or seventh grade, I think. At first I didn't know what it was, and he didn't really explain it to me. So I didn't understand it very well, and I have to admit, yes, I thought it was just like a weird thing going on. But when I looked it up on my own, I was like, yeah, I recognize myself in that. And I was gonna tell him that, I recognize myself in that. But then, I saw how rough it was for him, to a certain point. I'm not like, saying that he was like what I know of, severely like pushed around and shit. But I knew that it was going to be hard for him to be accepted as a man. And at the same time, when I heard myself say those words, like, well, do I want to be accepted like a guy? I feel like I just want to be accepted for me. So I didn't ever actually tell him, particularly not after my parents' reaction to it. They still to this day refuse to say that he's a he. They still use his birth name. I don't. Even though we're not friends anymore, I still have that respect in me to call him him, to use his male wanted name, at least the male wanted name he wanted when we were still friends. He may have changed. It's been a year now since I last talked to him, and he was a huge part of my life. He helped me a lot to discover who I was, and I hate how it ended between us. It was brutal for both of us, I believe. Um, but at the same time, I don't want to give him the satisfaction of me allowing him to be sad over it because he was the one who ended it. And in my mind, he wanted it, even if he maybe didn't really. In my mind, he still did. And for that, I can't accept the fact that he gets to be sad over it. Because if he was sad over it, he could just call and say, I've changed my mind. But whatever. And I told my mom that I think I'm bisexual when I was like in seventh or eighth grade too, I think. Took a bit longer to tell dad. Because they weren't living together at the point. So, and she didn't talk to him, so I knew she wouldn't tell him. I asked her to for safety, but she was like, yeah, whatever. And I told my dad like really randomly when we were out having like a coffee when I finished like grade school, basic school. Um, I was at EVE, which is this special like gymnasium thing in Sweden. And I just told him, there's this girl I find attractive. He's like, yeah. And he didn't really care. I talked to him about coming out to my grandparents, but he said that he didn't think it was a very good idea. So I didn't. I didn't tell my grandparents until I actually got my first girlfriend, which was maybe a year later. Yeah, it was about a year later, I think. Um, she was amazing in every way. The biggest pain in the ass I've ever experienced, but she was also the most important person in my life, and I think she will probably be forever. Um, she was just so amazing in every way, and I loved her a lot. To be honest, I am very sad that it ended. Today we're friends. I don't have any feelings anymore. That's strong enough to put a lot of effort into a relationship that I know is a tough one, because we are very different, and but she still means a lot to me, and I still want to keep in contact with her, even though I know it's hard because her family doesn't particularly like me anymore. um, yeah, and I don't think I think I told my cousin, like one of my cousins, like really randomly. I don't think they care, to be completely honest. I haven't like done this huge thing that I come out to the entire family. Like I told my grandma, yeah, I have a girlfriend, but that doesn't mean I'm gay. Maybe one day I'll be with a guy. So I said it that way. That's probably not true. But I still at the same time, I'm not gonna say like I'm never gonna be with a man, because maybe one day I'll meet a guy who is like incredible, and I like him and I love him and it turns out something. But so far, it's only the ladies that appeal to me. The guy, my former best friend, I had a crush on him when he was a girl, and it didn't go away when he came out as transgender and he started to change his appearance and he became more and more manly. He binded and he talked with a lower voice. I still found him attractive. I still today find him very attractive. I still today think about him a lot. And I was probably very, very much deeply like crushing on him like my entire life. Which I think was one of those reasons that it ended between us. Because I was probably very uncomfortable for him because I didn't tell him like straight out. So I don't know if he knew. I don't really care if he knew. I'm just gonna check how long I've been talking for the time limit. 11 minutes. I don't really have like any sob stories. I know my grandma, when I told her that I'd broken up with my girlfriend, that she said, "Oh, that's good." I don't think she would accept me being gay. Well, I think she would eventually, but I think it would take a lot for her. Which is hard because one of the few people actually give a fuck about what they think. It's her, my grandma on my dad's side, and of course my grandma on my mother's side. Like my grandmothers are like the best people in the world, like the most amazing, fucking unbelievable people. But my mom's mother, no fucking worries there, man. She's probably the most badass person in the world. Like her reactions is amazing. Like she basically told me like I hadn't even talked about it to mom yet, and I was like really depressed for some reason. I don't remember what it was, and she was just like, "Well, fuck, stop talking like that. You're gonna find a guy or a girl you want to be with." And I love the fact that she didn't just assume. Um. So yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, but there weren't really anyone that I know of that were horrified of it. I think my family would accept me no matter what, given the time. And if they don't, then leave. Just go away. Which is a horrible thing to say, but that's really all you can say. Like, no matter what you do, no matter how much time you give them, they still don't accept you. Maybe you should consider, you know, just asking them to leave you alone and stop giving a fuck. Um, yeah, I think I've covered everything. Um, if you guys have a question for me, like if there's something you want to ask about coming out or whatever, and you want to do it like anonymously, I have a Tumblr where I have anonymous like questions on. I'll leave a description. I'll leave the link in the below. If you don't care about being anonymous, you can just leave me a comment here or on Tumblr. It doesn't really matter. I'll answer to everything. I don't think there's anything really I won't answer if you ask me personally. So just go ahead and ask. Don't get offended though if I'm like, no, that's too personal. I don't want to answer that. But yeah, if you have questions, go ahead. I don't really know what else to say. Oh, fuck. Time limit.